good morning, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Uh, is anyone in here? Can y'all hear me? Are we cooking with Crisco? Are we cooking? Can y'all hear me? Are we live? If y'all can hear me, somebody put something in the chat. It's not looking right on my end. Hit learn and share. Tish, Deborah, the Blackout Davis, Thomas. If y'all can hear me and see me, put something in the chat. It's not looking right on my end. I don't want to get to running my mouth like I do and don't be live. Like the other night, say, we waiting on YouTube and you in here running your mouth in the Discord. Ain't nothing on YouTube. Okay, ain't nobody responding. I might not be live. Am I live? Ain't nobody responding. Am I live? I still see stuff popping up in the chat. Okay, somebody respond. Okay. Good morning, everybody. If this is your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, please allow me to say welcome. If it's not your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, I still want to say welcome, but give you a nice hearty, well, thank you for always tuning in to Tim's Tidbits. If by a slither of my huge imagination, you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., a.k.a. Aranya Grande, has Big Spider. If you don't hablo Espanol, I'm also known as the Amazing Spider Dad. You hear me? And this is another episode of The Overnight Price Action Review. How y'all doing this morning, man? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit a learner ship. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Are the birds chirping? Hey, Siri, what's the temperature right now?
It's 76 degrees right now.
It's a beautiful 76 degrees. It will probably be 102 come 12 o'clock. What's up, Tish? What's going on? What's happening, Deborah? They're my baby. What's up, the Blackout Davis? What's going on, Thomas? What's happening, Sturdy AF? Hey, you can't be talking about no buenos. Get off the buenos. You don't hablo Espanol. What's going on, Kim? What's happening, Marco? What's up, Seawalk? What's going on, man? Hey, who that pulling up in the Discord? What's up, Avery, in the Discord? What's happening? Hey, let's get Lonnie. Lonnie, if you're tuned in, Lonnie, I think the name was Lonnie. I'm so sorry for kicking you out of the Discord again. I've been going through so many names. I overlooked your name and I kicked you out of the Discord. Please come back, Lonnie. Please, Lonnie, please come back. Just go to the membership section again and click on the invite. It's still there. Come back. I won't kick you out again. I'm so sorry, Lonnie. Come back. Come back, Lonnie. Come back. Let's get to it, man. I was gonna, you know what? Let me share this. Let me share my screenage. I was gonna post this video in the Discord for the mentees, but seeing how I was sitting here, I tried to get short coming down here, but it never came back to where I wanted to go. I was sitting here watching the chart, and right here, I tried to get short right there, and that y'all can't see it. Let me make this bigger. Right. I tried to get short right here. Right. I wanted to get short in this fair value gap because of this order block right there. I was trying to get short right here. Right. And it never came back to the fair value gap. And I just watched it melt all the way down. I said, oh, well, it wasn't meant to be. Oh, that looked like an interesting long right there. I don't know. This is a 1 minute chart, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. If this was a higher time frame chart, then I would be looking at that right there. Right there. But since it's just a 1 minute chart, right? If it respect that and push up, then I would try to take it up to this area here, right? Maybe higher. But since it's a 1 minute chart, right? I'll wait till it respected this and then caught something up to like maybe that area. Let's see. Nah, that's too close. Nah, it's too close to equilibrium. Nah, it's too close to equilibrium of that move right there past this area there, because we had a lot of back and forth there. That's why I'm only looking at this area right here. All right. That's too close to that equilibrium right there for my blood, for my taste. Come back in the sense of the whole move down, right? That's why I was like up to this area right here, because that'll put it back into a premium. But since we had a lot of back and forth right there, I err on the side of caution. Just look at that move there, and it's too close to equilibrium. All right. But yeah, it didn't want to come back to my gap. I wanted to get short on that fair value gap right there and catch that ride back down, because this was like a CPI print, so it shot up there, right? So when we got up there and started stalling and breaking down, I was like, hey, let's take it back down here to this area there. I was just shooting for like this area there, right? And it didn't come back to my fair value gap. I was saddened by that. All right, stayed above that. It printed a red candle right there. Right, if it wasn't so close to that equilibrium, right, I would have been getting in, coming back into that red candle right there. But since it was close to that equilibrium now, it's too close for my taste, because like I say, I always err on the side of caution, right? Right, I err on the side of the caution right there. And that would be, for me, that's too close for my taste for this area there, right? Not worth it for me, right? If anything, come on back down here again to that area. But since that down close count is there, right? But it's like I said, it's a 1 minute, and I don't put a lot of weight on the 1 minute unless it's in line with the higher time frame. Like we was at a higher time frame area, you know what I'm saying? If we had already swept this 15-minute low right here and we were reversing, then I'll put a little bit more weight on that 1 minute to push up. But since we didn't hit that 15-minute low right there, I ain't putting all that weight on that 1 minute time frame that close to equilibrium. All right. Now, the video. I got caught up looking at the price. The video. I was going to share this video with in the Discord for the mentees and anybody else who wants to hear the things that I have to say. Present video file. Videos. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it. When it ain't talking yet. It should be talking. I don't hear nothing. Here it is. So, mentees, if you have never seen CPI before, this is why we don't be in any trades at 8:30. It's real low on CPI day. Watch and learn. That's why, right there. As you see here, I have the three sisters there. I got the YM on top. ES in the middle, and the NQ at the bottom. Straight rip. Never be in a trade at 8:30 on CPI day. And that's it. That's it. I was gonna share that with the mentees for and anybody who want to hear my voice. Everybody else in the Discord, you already done seen what CPI can do 100 times. And for any mentees, any new mentees who had never seen it, I was just gonna share that video to let you know this is why we don't be in any trades coming into, excuse me, CPI. I'm back here without my water. Coming into CPI or any red folder news. Expect CPI is the ripper. CPI, FOMC, those are the rippers. CPI is probably the biggest ripper. Trading is, it's a lot of moving parts to trading. And being aware of red folder news is one of those things that you all got to always have in the back of your mind as a trader, right? Red folder news times. Now, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. In here. In here. Well, it was coming into CPI. Y'all could see that price did a bunch of nothing. Right? Price did a bunch of nothing. All right, it goes 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Price started here, did a bunch of nothing, and then ripped on CPI. It's really like a nothing type overnight price action, because in front of big news, the market typically just make a move, then slide to the right. Make a move and slide to the right. And that's what it did yesterday. Right after I got off, remember, I was on here up until like 11 something. It was like 11 something when I was on here, and the market was right around here when I got off, right? And I'll just talk about how it wasn't doing what I wanted to do, right? One of the mentees reached out to me and asked me, he was like, "Hey, Tim, you said when you was on the live, you said this up close candle right there was showing you didn't like that because it was showing you weakness, right? Can you elaborate?" I apologize for everybody if I didn't elaborate. I thought I was very clear. Sometimes stuff makes sense in my head and I'm talking and it making no sense to you. What good is that? No good. So, since overnight price action was garbage, we're going to talk about this now. Here we are. We are bullish right here. Price is bullish, right? How do you know price is bullish? Because it's going up and to the right, right? That's my right. Hopefully that's y'all right. If that ain't y'all right, it go up and to the right. Okay, so up and to the right. Like if it not look like I'm pointing in the same direction. Am I pointing in the same direction of the chart right now? Somebody let me know, because I want to point the right. I don't be wanting to point weird. If I do like this right here, am I pointing in the same direction as the chart? Does it look like I'm pointing up and to the right to y'all? Somebody say yes or no in the chat. Yes, up and to the right. So now I know it's mirrored. I got to move to the left when I want to say right. Right? Okay, so we're bullish. Price is moving up and to the right. Okay? All right, if I come here, up and to the right. Now, we took out a high right here. Boop. Okay? So, when we took out that high right there, that's giving us a breaking market structure. Okay? We traded back down. So, here comes the time to stack on blocks on block, stack on blocks on block. Class participation time. When we came from this low to that high and took out that high right there, what type of liquidity are we taking out right here? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Who wants to? There you go, Avery. I'm gonna put Avery over here in the Discord. Avery said buy side. Avery said buy side. Very good. But what kind of liquidity is that? There you go. Hey, who did it first? Who did it first? Black Al Davis. That's the first one in the chat. Black Al Davis. External liquidity. We hit external liquidity. Right? We hit external liquidity. Okay. Right? And then we pulled back down into this imbalance right there. What type of liquidity is that? See, that's why I like Discord, because y'all can just unmute and talk. It ain't no 15-second delay. I ain't got to sit here looking crazy while I'm looking like Dora the Explorer. What type of liquidity is that? Who did it first? Who did it first? Who did it first? Father Legends. Internal range liquidity, right? So we took out external liquidity, right? We pulled back into the range of internal liquidity, and this next candle we took off, right? But when we got to the high, right, when we traded above this candle right here, we backed off. And we did not give the price an opportunity to form what? What did we want this fair value gap to do? Right? We've taken external liquidity there, right? We pulled back into internal liquidity there. Now, what do we want this fair value gap to do? Right? What do we want it to do?
Keep price up.
We want to keep price up, but what do we, Avery said keep price up, but what do we want it to do? We want it to not, yes, keep price up, but how is it going to show us that it want be respected, and we want it to create a busy? Very good. Very good. We want to keep price up. We want to support. We want all that, but we want to see it create a busy, right? So if this candle, right, and they said, can you be a little bit more clear on what you was talking about? Don't be coming here talking about some Ola Valentine. You late. Go to the dean's office, right? So if you want this busy to create a busy, what does this candle have to do in order to give it a chance to say, hey, we're getting ready to create a busy? What does this candle right here, that 945 candle, what does it have to do in order to be a chance of creating a busy off of this right here? What does this 945 candle have to do? Not just take out the high. Not just take out the high. Close Beauvais. Close Beauvais the high. Yes, it must close Beauvais the high. That's my new term. My new term is it got to close Beauvais the high. It has to close Beauvais the high. If it doesn't close Beauvais the high, there's no chance of creating a busy right now. Then we have to wait to see what the next candle does, to see if the next candle will close Beauvais that high. And if that one doesn't close Beauvais the high, then we got to wait to see what the next candle does, and the next candle does, and until somebody closes Beauvais a high, right? And if it closes Beauvais a high, Then we got to wait until the next candle to see if that next candle trades back into the candle prior to its high, right? So that's why when this candle right here, this 945 candle, traded above that high, right, and then closed back below it, I said, oh, that's showing a little weakness. I don't like that, right? I don't like that. That's showing a little weakness because I want this to create a busy. So until a busy creates a busy, excuse me, a busy creates a busy, right? I'm like, me not like it. We might have to stay in this for a little bit. It might chop a little bit. I ain't trying to sit there. It might be trying to reverse them. You need to give me some more, right? So, and then as you see, if we move forward, right, that one closed Beauvais, this one, right? Remember, I said, okay, now this one has closed, and I remember saying this on the live. Hey, Sturdy AF, get off my screen, right? I said, okay, now this one has closed above. Now we need to see this 10 o'clock candle closed above. Now we need to see if the 10:15 candle is going to close Beauvais, the 10 o'clock candle, right? And if it's going to not trade down into this 930 high, right? I mean, I said 930, this 945 high. So this candle needs not trade down into that high to create a busy off of that right there, right? So then that's showing the continued strength, right? Then the next candle comes back, and then it didn't even trade Beauvais to high. Not only did it not trade Beauvais to high, it traded back down into the 930s high. So this busy still has not created a busy and still hasn't given an opportunity to create a busy. So now that this is traded back into the 945 high, now we will have to wait for the next candle to see if it trades up and get Beauvais, this 10:15 candle, and then we have to wait till the next candle to see if it doesn't trade back down into the 10:15 high, right? Because we're looking for it to create a busy. Okay. Then, so the next candle comes in and we trade down, right? So now we're trading down. We come back down into the down close candle. That's still showing respect for this. This right here needs to act as an order block. Why? Because we're bullish and it's a down close candle. So it comes down and it's acting as an order block. So you say, okay, the price is still in a buy program. Remember, stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks, blocks on blocks on blocks on blocks. In a buy program, the down close candles should support price, right? Okay, it's still showing signs that it's in a buy program for the 15-minute time frame because we've taken out a high, right? And we're respecting down close candles, still in the buy program, but we still haven't created a busy off that busy yet, right? So now the next candle, what do? Right? We pull down and we came down roughly to the consequent encroachment of the wick, right? And we're still over here respecting the thing. It's getting weaker, right? It's getting weaker, but it's still respecting it. It's still in the buy program. We're respecting discount PD arrays. We hit the consequent encroachment and we wick back off of it, right? But we still haven't created us busy, but we've also have not created a SIBI, right? So we haven't created a SIBI. We're still respecting the discount PD arrays. So the 15-minute is still in the buy program. We just don't have any confirmation that it's ready to continue up yet. All right. Boom. The next candle comes down and we sweep the sell side, right? We take out the low, right? We trade down into the order block and we respect it. Boom, jump up off it. Get up off me. Get up off me. Right? Pushed up, came it down, closed right there. Right? So now it's taking liquidity out. Okay? Now, then we get a huge blast off. And this one closed Beauvais, that candle right there. right? So now we like, hey, we still in the buy program. Now we got an opportunity to create a BISI because this 11:15 candle right there closed Beauvais this 11 o'clock candle and is delivering off of that 7:30 BISI. It has swept sell side, right? Then the next candle, boom, we got us a BISI and we've taken out the high. The buy program is still in tech, right? Next candle, we come back down, trade down into the breaker, didn't hit the BISI, right? Right? Tim, what makes that a breaker? I already know you're going to say it, right? What's this shape here? What's that the beginning of? When we see price move up and down like that right there, what's that the beginning of? That's the beginning of a potential bullish breaker. All we need to do is trade back up. There's our breaker right here, right? So now it trades back down into the breaker. Didn't make it to the fair value gap. Let's keep moving forward, right? Boom. Now we got a down close candle. We hit the breaker, got a down close candle, right? Now you want to see this down close candle, support price, body wise, right? Even if it decides to wick into this fair value gap, you want to see the body respect that candle right there. Nope. She's off. All you get is a breaker. You don't get a fair value gap here. And that is what I meant when I said this candle right here at 9:45 was showing me weakness and me no likey that. And as you see, we went up and then we came back and took out the stops. So if a person had gotten long right there on here, right? And then when price started to move back up, right? If their stop was here and they moved their stop there because price started to move away, right? And we stopped there. You know what I'm saying? They was looking at this area as support and they say, hey, let me move my stop right there. They got punished and they got taken out of the game, right? And then price went off without them. Now, but that's what I meant when I said that 9:45 candle was showing weakness. And as you see, we came back down, took out the sell side before moving up. Was that clear for everybody? Everybody tracking on that? Everybody good? I be want to be clear. And then people be like, Tim, I don't know the world you talk about. Yeah, it. We good? Everybody good? Track. All right, man. That's it, man. That's all I got. The market getting ready to open. The market getting ready to open. Market getting ready to open. Okay. It never got back to that fair value gap right there. Pushed up, came down, got above there. At the previous day's high, came back down, took out this low again. Right there, starting to create some sibbies. Right. Never got back up there to that. This was, wait a minute. I might have been looking at it. Yeah, I was looking at the NQ, I think. I'm going to say that don't look right. Yeah, same thing. It didn't get back up because this was the fair value gap right there that I was looking at trying to get short off of earlier. I was trying to get short there. And never got back up there. Let's see what 9:30 brings. Right. Let's see what 9:30 brings. See if the market give 9:30 any opportunity to get any of this upside or if it just starts to break down. Let's see what 9:30 brings. Right. We're trading down into this BISI right here now, still respecting it. Right. We came down into that BISI there, pushed up, took that out, came down, and we're taking out that low there. The market is open. The market is open. The market is open. If you're going to trade, please trade safe. If you're not going to trade, please take a copious amount of notes. You can go back and study what you saw today and apply to your future trading endeavors. Enjoy your day. So we came back down. Let's go back over to the ES. They doing different things. ES and the NQ doing different things right now. See that? NQ came back down, below the midnight price. And the ES is pushed up, so that means the YM must be the YM doing something different. The YM up here consolidating right around yesterday's high. So the sisters are not sistering. NQ dipped down below midnight, right? Dipped down below midnight. The ES took out the low and pushed back up, and then the YM came down and took out the low, pushed back up. So the sisters aren't sistering too sisterly right now. The NQ is pushing for the sell side. Just took the sell side. NQ just took the sell side. ES still pushing back up into the range. All right, watching this up close candle here. See if it resists price. Or would it ES push through? Touch that up close candle. Push back down. Watching that up close candle to see if it resists price. NQ swept the sell side. Starting to push back up. Let's see if it gives 930 an opportunity to get some of this upside, or will it just stay weak? There is a 4-hour fair value gap below it on the NQ. Yes, NQ has a 4-hour BSC below us. 4-hour just in a sideways range outside of the news wick. Just been in a sideways range. Has already run the buy side on the news wick. It's right here is 15 minute over there. It's an ES 5 minute over here. ES 5 minute, ES 15 minute, ES 1 minute right here. The up close candle still resisting price. It's pushing, it's trying to push through. Up close candle still resisting price. Watching if this seeing if this up close candle creates a SIBI coming down. Got a small SIBI right there, trading to the up close candle, right? Testing it again, third time testing it. NQ. All right, NQ took out the low. NQ took out this low here. We do have this low here. Just consolidating here. Push back up just above that high. See if we engulf this and start to push back up. We did touch this. We did touch the SIBI on the NQ right there. Came down, took out the low. So watching to see if we go back up and invert that SIBI right there. ES still that up close candle still resisting price. Right there. Let me turn my let me find my fancy dancing. My computer restarted, so my fancy dancing not on. Yeah. So we just testing that 924 candle. We just testing that 924 candle on the ES. Want to see if it hold. We're bouncing between midnight, right? We got the midnight price that we keep dipping below. We got a 903 fair value gap, and we keep coming back up to this 924 up close candle right there. So we just kind of like ping ponging back and forth right there. What the YM doing? YM dropping. The YM came down, took out the sell side. Okay, so the YM has come and taken out the sell side, right? The NQ has come down and taken out the sell side, but the ES has not come and taken. This is the sell side right there that the YM and the NQ has taken out. Right, the YM and the NQ both have taken out that sell side right there, and that was at 901 on the ES, 901 on the NQ, and it was actually the low is at 853 on the YM, but it's the same relative area right there, right? And the YM traded back down into a 825 biscuit. Well, it's gone a little bit lower now. So the YM is pushing for, it's almost at, it just went below the low of the overnight consolidation, right? So the YM just took out the low of the overnight consolidation. The NQ has still not. That's this low right here on NQ, right? That will be the low right there. And then that will be this low down here on the ES. So the YM has taken this low out. The NQ has taken this low out, but the ES still has not. And that up close candle is still resisting price. Let's see if now we go back and forth there. Let's see if we get a SIBI in this area right here. All right, if we get a SIBI in this area right here, then the ES should start to come down to this low right there. Because again, the NQ has taken that low, the YM has taken that low, and the ES has not, and the YM is dropping a little lower. The YM has got an opportunity to create a SIBI right here. So now what you be watching on the YM is if we do create this SIBI here, right? Does the SIBI hold or does it immediately get inverted and start to push back up? Right? If we do create a SIBI there, the NQ still chopping. The NQ don't wanna drop it like it's all right. ES still chopping. No SIBI. No chance of making a SIBI. Still respecting this fair value gap right there. All right, still respecting that fair value gap. We are working the dookie at that fair value gap. We are working the dookie at that fair value gap right there at midnight price. All right, we're right there, bouncing at the midnight. Did we touch this fair value gap there? Let's see if we touched that one. We came to the high of it on the 929 candle. We came to the high of this 902 BISI. We're working the dookie at this fair value gap. The wicks are all stopping right there at consequent encroachment. We'll put the line in there for God dog it. We're respecting that consequent encroachment. We're respecting that consequent encroachment on that right there. We are working the dookie at that fair value gap. We are working the dookie at that fair value gap. NQ and ES just NQ consolidating around midnight and the 7:30 open. The ES right there consolidating just above midnight, right? Still respecting that up close candle, right? Still respecting this breaker over here, right? We got a bearish breaker right there on the NQ, on the ES. See this little breaker right over here? All right, come here, you. Right there, see that breaker right there? We're respecting mean threshold of that breaker. We're respecting consequent encroachment of that fair value gap. We just ping ponging in between. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Right? For those that like to mark out the entire candles, let's mark out the entire candles for them. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Bouncing back and forth. Still respecting that up close candle. Right? Respecting this more and more, getting a little bit more strength off of there, right? Getting a little more strength, more and more, like in high. Here we go. We just ripped up, took out that high, came back down again. Will this give us a thrust down? A thrust down? a thrust down? Will this give us a thrust down? All right, here we go. Poke down below it. Still respecting though. Still respect. Get thrust down. Will this give us thrust down? Will this give us a thrust down? Will it thrust down? NQ took out the overnight low, going toward that 4 hour. The YM still respecting that BISI. I mean that SIBI. Let's see if it gets inverted. Right, the YM has dropped down. Let's see if that gets inverted. Credit and debits available is going to tell you it. Okay. Fast Track just said something about credits and debits available. NQ hit the overnight, took out the low, right? That was the low. Oh no, that ain't even overnight low. That's just the consolidation. Overnight low down here, but under that consolidation, I said under the consolidation. I thought that was a full night, but it's not. So NQ has went below that. Nice little wick off of it. Got a little SIBI right there. Got a little SIBI right there. May want to draw down into that 4 hour fair value gap. Got a little SIBI there. Let's see how this works out. See if this SIBI holds or if it gets inverted. Right. Back to the ES. Still don't have that thrust down. Right. We didn't get the thrust down. The 940 pulled all the way back up here. Right. We still ain't get that thrust down. All right. We're still ping-ponging in between the fair value gap and Le Breaker. Still ping-ponging between the fair value gap and the breaker. Let's make this red so that, well, let's make it a breaker. 1 minute. All right. Why's that? Oh, why's that green? Oh, probably because it was 1 minute. That's when I was color coordinated in accordance with the time frame. Right, back and forth, but the back and forth, and nothing. It's giving nothing right now. Nothing right now. We're still in between. The NQ is moving a little bit more freely. The YM is starting to push back up. The YM has inverted that SIBI. Right, remember the SIBI was talking about? The YM inverted the SIBI. Watching this up close candle on the YM right there. See if we push through it. Right, so we've come down. This candle that went below the low, right, came back up, got inverted, traded back down. Where? Into the change of state of delivery. Right there. Right, we had a change in state of delivery there off the order block. Then we had another type of change in the state of delivery right there on the inversion fair value gap. And now we're getting above this up close candle right here. Right, so the YM is trying to act as if it has switched into a buy program on the 1 minute. Right, the NQ has pushed back up into the SIBI there. See if the SIBI holds or if we push up and get us a bullish breaking market structure. Right, we are just about to invert that SIBI, and let's see what the ES doing. Up she goes. So the ES has pushed up. So we worked the dookie at that fair value gap, and now this fair value gap has an opportunity to create a fair value gap now. Right, so this BISI is now, it has an opportunity to create a BISI now. Will it do it here? Right? Will it do it here? All right. Let's see if it does it here. And then and you look at your higher time frames, we are doing nothing but just consolidating. Right? We're just consolidating and we're trading back. We're inside this 5 minute SIBI right here, and there's another 5 minute SIBI at 8:45 just above it. All right, so there's the BISI there. Right, we got the break right there. We've traded above the high, so now looking for that BISI to hold. Right, looking for that BISI to hold right there. Looking for that BSC to hold, traded into the volume imbalance right there. Right. Remember that old up close candle we was watching? Right. Now it's on top of it, looking for it to be support. Right. Came down to the volume imbalance, came down to the opening price of that old up close candle we was watching to be resistance before. Now it's there acting as support, looking for this fair value gap to hold. We got a lot of back and forth delivery inside here, so we want the price to treat this as a balanced price range. We don't want price sliding down through that, right? If the bullishness is to continue, we don't want price coming down through this if the bullishness is to continue, right? So far, we're respecting that we're on the opposite side of that candle now. So far, we're respecting it, right? The higher time frames, we still aren't doing much. We have an opportunity to create a BSC on the 5-minute. We got 3 minutes and 27 seconds left on this candle before we'll see if we create a BSC.
No, not yet. I was getting out of the living room and I was gonna get ready to leave.
You getting ready to leave? All right, then. Avery say he getting ready to leave, y'all. All right. Watching this BSC right here, right? We want this BSC to create a BSC. We want price to treat this as a balanced price range. We got a lot of back and forth delivery in here. We don't want price sliding back down through this. NQ poked above the high, right? Pushed off of it. Watching this BSC on the NQ. Don't want this BSC to fail, right? We did come down and poke the 4-hour fair value gap, right? Looking for this BSC to support price. Don't want the BSC to fail. The YM, right? We formed down close candles. Look for these down close candles to support price. Because remember, the YM had already moved into a buy program. Looking for these down close candles to support price. All right. NQ, watching the fair value gap. See if it gets inverted. Right. We wicked off this high right here. Right. Wicking off that high. That brings your attention to this low. It doesn't have to get there because we want this to support price. We've come back down and touched the high of the order block, right? And we've also come back down and touched that low one more time. That overnight, that consolidation low we was talking about, touch that one more time, right? Now coming down here, this candle is given an opportunity to create a SIBI, right? You want this to trade back up into that low to stop this from creating a SIBI. If it does create a SIBI, right, you got the SIBI coming into a BSC where it's supposed to just bounce price off, right? So might be a little chop, might be getting weak. We created a SIBI, right? Might be chop, might be getting weak. Created a SIBI. So now this still hasn't failed yet, right? This order block still has not failed. So you're just watching to see if it fails, if this SIBI continues to push price down, but it's just showing weakness right now because we're getting further and further down. ES, what are we doing? Right there, we came into the BSC, right? So far, it's respecting it, right? But we're not getting no follow through. This BSC is not creating a BSC. We ain't getting follow through. We came down, we respect the BSC, but we already traded into it. Now we've come back down one more time into that old bearish breaker that we was watching on the top of it, right? Right, we touched it again. We still respecting this BSC. We're on the top side of that old bearish breaker, still respecting it, sitting on the top of it, but we're chopping. This BSC is not creating a BSC, right? This BSC is not creating a bit. It's just the price just chopping right now. Price just chopping right now. We just moved into the 950 macro. Right, we just moved into the 950 macro. Make this yellow. All right. 950 macro window. All right. Got sell side right down here. We're struggling to go up. Let's see. Going to a 950 macro. Let's see if we attack some buy side or invert a fair value gap. See, are we hanging out right there? That's, remember the area earlier when I said I'm watching an error on the side of caution. So I was just watching this piece of the price leg. I was like, we're too close to equilibrium, right? You see where price has been consolidating at right there around equilibrium, right? So now we're consolidating on the top side of the equilibrium right now. But price right there. And see that early when I was like, I'm just looking at, I'm error on the side of caution, looking at this piece of price because we had went up there, we offered all this back and forth. So I was looking at this as a balanced price range, and now you see price has been hanging out right here. So that lets you know, hey, we like on the right side of what IPTA referring to right now as far as the range that is referring to, because from that high to that low, we've been kind of consolidating right there. That's right around equilibrium right there. Right over here, we was consolidating on the lower side of the equilibrium. Right there was on the higher side, lower side, and now we're back on the higher side right there. Or should I say premium and discount? Showing a little bit of weakness because we're pushing through these up close candles right here, coming to the downside, right? This down close candle right there is not really keeping the price up, right? We broke through these up close candles coming down to the downside. We've moved to roughly consequent encroachment of this BISI right here. Right. Came to the consequent encroachment of that BISI. Still respecting the consequent of the BISI, but it's looking a little weak. Right. It's looking a little weak. So we're watching these relative equal lows and then this sell side down here during this macro time. See what happened. Let's see what the NQ doing. NQ pushed down into that 4-hour BISI that we was talking about. Remember I said we created that SIBI over there. Creating a SIBI going into that BISI wasn't good. We pushed up into this second SIBI that we created, and then we're breaking down into the 4-hour fair value gap. The ES is still trying to hold on. The YM is pushing. There's the divergence. You see it playing out in real time. The YM is pushing up, the NQ is pushing down, and the ES is stuck. It's chopping, stuck. Now, with that, I'm finna call it because I got a boo-boo. Hey, man, if y'all gonna trade, please trade safe. If you're not gonna trade, please take a copious amounts of notes. I would stay around for questions and comments, but I can't because I gotta go move my bowels. Next time I decide to get on, till the next time I decide to get on Al Gore's internet, man, y'all be safe out here. And y'all be safe out here in these trading streets, man. Gone.